Man, I love me some Eric Bieniemy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are easily triggered, if you like words like toxic masculinity and endorse modern day feminism, this is not the day for you to watch this channel. Any other day but today. Folks, I am going to take and play live on this show Eric Bieniemy's latest speech. And he's talking about how players are going behind his back and complaining to Ron Rivera and other coaching staff about his coaching style. I love it. Y'all know this is a gladiator sport, and we know this generation is practically sponsored by Charmin because of how soft it is. I'm about to take and jump into a video right now. Guys, comment below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be taking and pausing this periodically to chime in, but man, I only watched like 2 minutes of it. I just love what I'm hearing. Here we go.
Working their tails off. We've had some highs, we've had some lows, but the thing that I appreciate about them is that they embraced it and they're learning. First and foremost, they're learning a lot about themselves. They're learning a lot about what it takes, all right? But also, too, they're growing together. That's the fun part, and it's fun watching that growth process. So with that said, I'm all ears.
So along those lines, and you know that you have a reputation for being, you have some intensity about you. So I'm curious, like, you know, Ron was talking about how like some players maybe had to get.
Guys, you have some intensity about you. They don't ask this to other coaches. Let me go ahead and hit play.
Used to that, and they went to him and expressed and said, "Hey, sit down with Eric and kind of go over stuff." What is, you know, how do you approach that, and you know, how do you feel about that, and just having to deal with guys who maybe aren't used to that quick?
Well, first of all, one thing I'm an open book, and I always invite players in. But also, too, as I've gone through this process, yes, I am intense. And I would be afraid, too, to start if I didn't know him. But on top of that, one thing they do appreciate is this. I'm always going to be upfront, and I'm always going to be honest.
I love that. I'm going to pause it here just for a sec. I love that because Ron Rivera, man, great coach, you know, legendary player, all that. He's been a part of this game for the better part of his life, right? But can also be a pushover. He's an old man, you know, kind of thing. So Eric Bieniemy is super necessary, especially with new ownership now officially here, right? They may even change the name. This is like a whole attitude that's coming back, man. So I love this. Let me go ahead and play and stop talking.
Just like I stated when I first got here, we all got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable, okay? There's some new demands and expectations that I expect. I expect us to be the team that we're supposed to be. Okay. It's not going to be easy, and everybody ain't going to like the process. But when it's all said and done with, my job is to make sure that we're doing it the right way. There's a way to do it. Now, do they understand that? Yes, because they're seeing the results. Will everybody buy in? I believe so. But if not, it's okay.
Speaking of buy-in, man, let's talk about some people who did not buy in. Matt Patricia, holy cow! He tried the whole hard-ass thing, calling people names. I'm not gonna take and repeat on this channel, but you know, he's tried that, and that definitely did not work, right? You know, he kind of sucked as a coach, right? Then you have guys who are the polar opposite, the Mike McDaniels, the Pete Carrolls are just, hey man, let's have a Nerf gun fight. Hey, let me hit the vape pen. This is not that type of coach. This is an old school coach. These are the type of coaches I had in high school. Man, I remember we had this coach named Coach Bess, and man, he almost killed a kid, man, not because physically, but because the drills we did and how he talked to us. But we knew that he loved us. Let me go ahead and continue to hit play. But this is the vibe I'm kind of getting from Eric Bieniemy.
You know what? My number one job is to help take these guys to another level, and I can see it. Because when you think about where we started in the spring to where we are right now, we're making a lot of strides. I'm proud of these guys. It's been some, excuse my language, some good shit to watch.
I've heard that said a couple times out there. But in examining the way you coach, right? Have you ever said, I wonder if I have to tone it down at all, or do you just say, this is how I am, and I'm just going to roll with that?
I've been coaching since I retired from football. So you got to understand this. With the group, I'm always going to remain the same. I'm always going to be loud. I'm always going to be vocal. I'm always going to demand from our leaders. But on top of that, I'm watching everything.
This guy is unapologetically masculine. I love it. In a day where the women are masculine and the men are feminine or scared to be themselves, this guy is unapologetically him. It's not only great for football, it's great for people outside the sport, from the outside looking in to take and see that. Let's keep it real. Most people come from a divorced home. Let's keep it real. A lot of these football players come from just the woman's running the show. So Eric is going to rub people wrong, but he's also going to help develop other men at the same time. Very important is coaching style. Let me continue.
Okay. Body language, how we're addressing the huddle, how we're getting up to the line of scrimmage, how we're presenting ourselves. Those things are important because you got to send a message to the defense. And so I want our guys to clearly understand that we're not taking anything for granted. So when it's all said and done with, do I spend time with players? Yes. You guys have been here. You see me pull players over to the side and have long discussions with them, just so we're all always on the same page. So Eric Bieniemy is who he is, okay? Eric Bieniemy knows how to adapt and adjust. Eric Bieniemy is a tough, hard-nosed coach, but also understand I'm going to be the biggest and harshest critic, but I'm also their number one fan because I got their back and I'm going to support them at all times.
How has the flow of camp kind of played into that where, you know, you're kind of ramping up with pads and then scaling back? Like, do you find yourself having to adjust to the day at all?
It's camp. No adjustments necessary. The only thing I want our guys to do is to make sure when they leave the building, okay, go home and study. Get you a good night of sleep. And when you wake up, make sure your mind, body, and soul is ready.
Now, I'm going to fast forward this video just a little bit, y'all. Please note this is compliments of the Commanders YouTube channel. So this is not a video I recorded, but I'm going to go ahead and move this down here just a little bit.
But they got their guys producing. So there's nothing that goes unsaid, good, bad, or indifferent. We want to talk through and work through every issue. So when it comes down to personnel, yeah, we always sit and have those discussions. Sometimes those discussions are tough. When we leave that room, we all locked arm in arm, and it's time to go to work.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, you're in the third week of camp. Where have you seen the most improvement and from who?
You know what? I don't know if I could just point out one individual. It's been a number of players, all right? Because there's been some highs and lows, and you don't ever want camp to be one-sided. You know, sometimes when you see me, I'm walking out the field, and my mouth is all in a certain way. Obviously, we probably got our ass kicked that day. But our guys are working hard. I think the quarterback position, Jacoby and Sam have been playing their tails off. Jake as well. The running backs have been competing their tails off. You know, all those guys are working. Watching these young receivers and these young tight ends, and then watching these O-linemen work. It's been fun collectively watching these guys compete. But on top of that, watching the growth process. And I'm only asking them each and every day, just work on three things. Find three things to work on. All right. I know practice is not going to be perfect, but if there's three things that you can address, define what those three things are. Then if you're making that necessary adjustment and working on those things, we got a chance. And that's what I'm seeing from each and every group. And that's been the fun part. That's why I know guys are buying in and they have belief in what we're doing.
Buying in.
Hi. Have there been instances where players have, I guess, struggled to adapt to your coaching style and have come up to you and had a conversation about it?
And so before it even goes anywhere, I make it the point to address the conversation, because one thing, my job is to be very observant. I got to know the people that I'm discussing and working with. So my job is to address. If there's something that they may have an issue with, please, let's discuss this. Here's the reason why I felt a certain way. Here's why I said it. Now, okay, I put it back on the player. And you got to understand, we're in a grown man's business. We're in a grown man's world. My job is to make sure that I'm doing the best possible job of over-communicating clarity. I take a tremendous amount of pride in that. They also know when I'm getting on them, ain't nothing personal. What's personal is that I want us to win. I expect that particular player to be great at all times. I expect the effort to be a standard that's accepted by all of us. So when you're not reaching that, it's my job to address it. So sometimes they may like the highlights and the praise, but sometimes they may not like it. And I'm perfectly fine with that, because that's my job. Because if I ain't doing my job my ass get fired. So it's my job and my responsibility to make sure that I'm getting our guys to do what I expect them to do.
Woo! Man, I love that. I love that answer. We live in a generation of, especially now, more so than ever. It's not just young people. Can't blame all young people. Older people like this too. They want instant gratification. They want to be congratulated every single time, man. A lot of people don't want to put their nose down and work. And he comes from that era, man, and it's so necessary, not just in football, but in life, man. Now, Ron Rivera, he took and he made some comments as well today, and his comments essentially were kind of similar to Eric Bieniemy. It was more so him backing up Eric Bieniemy and how they have two different coaching styles. He mentioned that he was with, I think it was Dick Butkus or something like that, and hey, different type of coach, you know what I mean? And those type of coaches, they don't necessarily exist too much anymore. There's Brian Flores out there. He was with the Dolphins. You saw how that went. They turned his back on him, right? Then there's like Bill Belichick, but he also has multiple rings. You know who also has multiple rings? Eric Bieniemy. He has 2 Super Bowl rings, as a matter of fact. And he was in that offense. He was a play caller in that offense. And he knows how to run a team, But one thing that stood out to me here is he said that he's getting players to buy in. And when you've had an organization, and excuse my language here, like the Washington Commanders has been absolute trash. And don't tell me, 8-8, 7-9, and then 9-6, whatever. No. And that's you're teasing the fans, and you're not willing to do what it takes to go over the edge to win a championship. When you're making moves like this, a guy who's potentially going to be their head coach potentially next year, this is absolutely huge. This is absolutely massive. Now we know Ron Rivera is going to retire soon. This is more than likely, if I had to predict, this is probably going to be his last year coaching in the NFL. But how dope of a guy like this to come out here and face the media unapologetically. We've had guys like Bill Belichick be a hard ass, but when they face the media, they're they don't have much to say, but they go all hard behind the door. So this is dope, man. We actually got to really see Eric Bieniemy. Now, I could see where, okay, well, maybe sure, Race could have played the issue why he didn't get a head coaching job before, but also he probably rubs some of these soy boys probably the wrong way. He probably rubs them the wrong way. Oh, well, Eric Bieniemy, man, congratulations, man. You're going to be in this game for a long time and even longer, man. Congratulations on all your success. Also, ladies and gentlemen, hit that subscribe button. That helps the channel to grow. Y'all know me. I'm a Dolphins fan, but I do cover the whole entire NFL. So comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. I warned y'all in the beginning, man. Look, trigger warning all day. But check this out, man. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to continue to give y'all content, reaction videos, all that good stuff. And if you're new to the channel, January through April, it's one of the best places on the internet right here to have pre-draft content where I have the actual players come on the show. But we'll catch y'all next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Thanks for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where I cover all 32 NFL teams plus NFL exclusive interviews. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the alerts, comment below, and we'll catch you next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith.